Everyone, and welcome back to Kindred Pens. I am J.D. Crist. I am a dystopian author and starting with horror, and this is my good friend.
I'm Gideon Drake, and I write psychological thriller and dark suspense.
So, this is episode 3. So, if you guys are coming back to join us again, thank you. This week we're going to be talking about a topic that was asked to us and was something we thought would be a good idea to cover here. And that is, how do you advertise your books so that people will read them and or buy them? And I think that is probably one of the biggest struggles of an indie author is getting people to give your book a chance.
Absolutely. I know I had tried just about everything I could think of, and I think probably the thing that's been the biggest help for me is going live on social media where you can talk about the books, talk to the people in your lives about it, and kind of get to know the readers a little bit.
And even saying that, I know that my first couple months alive of lives, I was the only one in the room. I was just practicing talking to myself pretty much, waiting for people to find me, and that happens.
It does, and even after you've had people in it, it comes in waves. So you get several people in there for a while, and then it may go down to where you only have a few. And I know for me, there's been times where I'm just like, what's the point? But talked to another person on social media who is there, and she was like, yeah, she said sometimes I only have two or three people in here. Sometimes I have 20 or 30. She said sometimes I get disgusted. She said, but I just keep showing up. I'm just going to keep showing up every day, and somebody's going to come in here.
I think that's the key to it most of all is just persistence. You can't give up. You got to keep going live, making your videos and everything else that you can think of to try to push it because all it takes is that one person to pick it up and go, "Oh, this is good." And then they're going to tell someone and they tell someone and it's kind of a ripple effect, but you have to wait and work for it.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've had someone come into my live and tell me that a friend of theirs bought one of my books and read it and told them about it and recommended them to come and check it out. And that happens a lot. A lot of the people that come into my lives are there because somebody else told them about it. So it's that word of mouth is the best thing that you can do to get it out is just get out in front of people, keep talking about your books, get to know the people who are in the room with you that you're talking to, and once somebody reads it and they enjoy it, then they're going to tell somebody else and say, "Hey, you need to come check this person out."
Yeah, and you have to remember, I know there's still a lot of indies out there trying to be faceless authors, but without a big publishing company behind you, people aren't just buying your book. They're buying the image that you portray to them too. They want to feel more personally connected to you than just some book they're going to buy at a major retailer off the shelf.
Yeah, I remember one night I was on a panel on somebody else's live, and it was the authors and the readers. And so the readers were asking the authors questions, and then the authors got to ask the readers questions. And one of the questions that came up was one that I was curious about myself. One of the authors said, for you guys that have a big TBR or a to be read list, how do you pick which book you're going to read next? And the biggest answer was if they find an author that they feel a good personal connection with, that they will read all of their books next.
And we can't be afraid of the readers. If somebody It can feel like the kiss of death when somebody goes, "Oh, I'll add it to my TBR," and you're like, "Oh, yay, I'm number 5,732." Ask them. Go, "Hey, what do I got to do to make you want to read it right now?" And sometimes they'll tell you, they'll be like, "Well, I'm strapped for cash. Is it on Kindle Unlimited?" Yes, yes, it is. Help them find ways to read your book and don't be afraid to ask them for those reviews because they are what we need.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about this before. I don't think people understand the importance of the reviews uh, for anything really. I mean, we're looking at it from a standpoint of our books and your books, but the more reviews that you get, the more like Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and those places. If you've got a book that's getting a bunch of reviews, then they're going to push that book because that means that people are interested in it and they're going to get more sales for it. But when you don't get a lot of reviews, then it don't really get pushed anywhere unless you're the one that's pushing it. And you definitely need all of the help you can get. So reviews are really, really important, especially for indie authors. And but not only just for books, that's for anything. Anything that you purchase online, if you like it and you enjoy it, go leave a review and say that you liked it. It helps that person with what they're selling.
Yeah, because I know I have some crafty people that do things for me to include with my books, and I always make sure that I've left them a review. I hype them up every chance I get because I want to help them. They helped me.
Yeah,
And the other thing you guys can find to help push your books is there are so many people that do spotlights or open interviews or stuff like that across social media. Jump in there because, yeah, it's going to be mostly authors that you see down in the comments, but we're authors because we like books and we read them too. So get it out. And maybe
yeah,
even if the story isn't their thing, because you were on there, as somebody brings up that they're looking for that type of story, you're going to be on their mind. So they'll be like, "Hey, I heard about this new author." And there goes that word of mouth again because you took a chance and put yourself out there.
yeah. Because I know you and I both do it all the time. So if somebody comes in my live and maybe they don't like the thrillers, but maybe they like dystopian or that kind of thing, then I'm like, hey, go check out JD. Or if they're looking for like dark romance or something like that, then I know a good author that I'm friends with that does that stuff. So I'll send them their way. And they'll do the same. We all do the same thing.
I need a thriller book that I can't figure out by the time I'm halfway through. And I'm like, I've got one for you. Okay. Let me send you to Gideon.
So I mean, most of us authors is going to do that. We know people who write in different genres, and if somebody's looking for a particular one, then we refer them that way because maybe our story's not for them, but then somebody else that's in somebody else's life, maybe they like what you are, they'll refer them to you. So it's just authors helping authors out. It's a big community, and we're all there to help each other.
And if anybody says it's a competition, you just move on past them because it's not. There are
No,
plenty of readers and plenty of different types of books. There is no competition.
no, there's definitely a place for everyone, and I don't necessarily think that certain genres are oversaturated. I think there's everybody's books, even if they're in the same genre, they're all a little bit different. And you're going to find somebody that likes what you're doing. You just have to keep getting out there in front of people and being consistent.
Yeah, so even though it gets disheartening, you can't just shut down and go, "I'll try again next month." You got to push through it. Keep putting yourself out there. Keep going live on whichever platform you're using. Find your community to go up and do those spotlights because they do help. That's what actually got my books to start selling was a spotlight that I did. And It's been amazing ever since.
Yeah,
Gideon and
I've
I
done.
actually met because I did a spotlight with the bookstore owner who invited me up, and there he was.
Yep, and we've been great friends ever since.
Yep. Guys, we're
So,
we're such great friends that we're already requesting to sit next to each other at events, okay?
yeah,
Without telling each other first.
without telling each other. Yeah, we'll see if that happens.
Fingers crossed, because that was just too funny in my eyes.
We'll be sitting next to each other, but we'll be in the back room.
Ouch! Dagger to my heart, Gideon. Guys, I did an event last week and they put me in the bad kid room. I was in the back where nobody came. And being claustrophobic on top of it, there was no window. And that's the other thing, guys. Events can help you tremendously, but they're not all going to be great. I have had two bad ones in a row.
Yeah, I've had some really good ones at some bookstores, and uh, then I've had a few where they just was it didn't definitely didn't meet up to my expectation. But the thing with the events is one of two things is going to happen. One is it's going to be a good event for you from an author. You're going to find a bunch of new readers, and you're going to sell some books. The second thing is there's not going to be a lot of new readers. And when there's not, it's a great time for you to network with other authors, other vendors, other people that maybe you don't know, and maybe you can kindle up some good friendships with some other authors. I know that happened to me recently where there I didn't have a lot of new readers coming in, and I didn't necessarily sell a lot of books, but I bet I met a few authors there that I did not know of and that I hadn't heard of before that I've actually became friends with since then. One of them comes on my live almost all the time. If I'm live, they're popping in and we just chat about everything and it's a lot of fun and they're really cool people. Then I met a local author from where we was at, which is 8 hours away from where we were, that I didn't know that also writes like supernatural thrillers and stuff. And got to chat with her a little bit and find out a lot of stuff, and it was a lot of fun. So you never know who you're going to meet there, but it is definitely great networking with other authors and getting to know some new people.
And guys, don't be afraid to ask those other authors. I know I came home with a ton of books from each event, and I did it through swaps. I'd give them a copy of one of my books, and they give me a copy of one of theirs. And I'm comfortable with those because A, I got a book, and B, I know I'm going to read and review it, and I know they're going to do the same thing because they understand the position we're in, needing those reads and reviews.
Yeah,
So, another great opportunity. It all seems to come back to word of mouth. So,
yeah,
you just gotta, I know it's hard, believe me, I am an introvert through and through, but I push myself out of the box to get out there for my books because they can't do it without me.
yeah. They're not going to sell themselves. You got to push it. Just remember that being an indie author, just because you self publish doesn't mean that it's the easy way. It's probably the harder way, but it's to me, I think it's also something that's a lot more meaningful because every reader that you get is a reader that you got. Somebody else didn't get them for you. You did it. And everything that you're building is something that you created from the ground up. So you got to kind of remember that.
And I know there's a lot of things you'll get emailed about or messaged about on social media. I know I probably get at least 10 emails a week going, "Hey, our book club would like to read your book." And I'm like, "Great, go ahead. I'll give a discount to the book club." And they're like, "Okay, all you have to do is pay us $250 and we'll read your book."
No, thank you.
No, don't do that, guys, because it will not help. All it'll happen is she'll be out $250, okay?
I think the most recent one that I had was some group wanted to do an interview with me about my books to help push out my books. All I've got to do is pay the one time uh, publishing fee or whatever for the production
Oh my gosh,
for it.
were they based in the UK?
Yes.
I got it
So I kept emailing them back and forth and kept them going for like about a month. Yes, I'm interested. Tell me next steps.
too. And guys, I took it an extra step. I was like, oh, sorry, I can't afford that. They're like, well, what can you afford? And I was like, I don't know, like $10. And this is how you can tell they're not real because I offered $10 and they went, okay, we'll do it for $10. You're not doing anything for $10.
I
Thanks, but no thanks. And
will send you a new toaster.
then and you also have to be careful with that because sometimes, like, even if you do it and you do get the reviews, it's because they take your money and pay people to review your book. And that is actually against Amazon's terms of service, guys. So if they find out you did it, they can shut down your KDP account and you'll
Yeah.
lose everything. So be careful. Now there are legit forms of advertising you can do. You can do ads on TikTok, you can do ads on Amazon, but ads don't always convert to sales. Most of the
No.
time they don't. So don't dump a ton of money in it thinking that you're going to get it plus some back in sales easy. Just don't happen.
A lot of it comes back to what we talked about earlier with reviews. So if you have quite a few reviews on it and they're good reviews, then paid ads are not a bad thing. But if you're trying to run paid ads for something that don't have hardly any reviews, you're basically just throwing your money away because you'll spend a lot more money than what you make.
And I think we all do the same thing. If you pull up a product you're thinking of buying and there's no reviews or just two or three, you're like, I don't even know if this is any good. I don't want to spend money on it. So they're not, people just don't click. That's where it gets difficult. And but you can do it. You just got to keep pushing and pushing.
The thing I tell everybody is don't give up.
You
Even
only
if it
fail if you
looks,
give up.
yeah, even if it looks bleak or whatever, keep showing up. Social media tends to over time reward consistency.
Hmm.
So even if you don't have a lot of people, just keep showing up. Eventually, they're going to come back. Just don't give up.
If it was easy, everyone would do it. You have to work for what you want, and being an author is not an exclusion to that rule, especially an indie author. You have to work harder than a regular author because you're everything.
Yeah. But in the end, it is all worth it. It's still a lot of fun, even though it's a lot of work. Because it's a lot more fun when you're working your butt off for something that you created versus working your butt off for something that somebody else created.
Yeah, because then you get to watch somebody else take all the credit and all the happy dances for all your hard work. But this is 100% you, and you earn this with. And I think it's extra amazing because these are stories and worlds that people are creating in their heads. They deserve all the praise for what they've done
Exactly.
because it is not easy having all these things exist in your head at once. I know I have more than one story going on at a time. I know he does. I'm
I
two
do.
books behind on him for reading.
It's I don't know, it's weird how sometimes you're writing and while you're writing you come up with an idea for the next book. And then you got to keep the two separated while you're finishing the one you're working on. And then you're like, "Dang, I want to get started on this one."
Do you ever catch yourself accidentally start writing things that you know are supposed to go in the next one? You're like, dang it, no, no, not that this one.
Sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, well, I'm going to hop over here and start a new file and I'm going to jot down these ideas. And then next thing you know, I'm 7 chapters into the next book and I still got to go back and finish the one I was starting. That's how you end up with two books coming out coming that comes out back to back. It happens.
It ha I have been a victim here, guys. It happens.
It just happened to me. But
But yeah, I know it can get frustrating seeing that your books aren't selling, you're getting zero reviews, or even the other thing, we were talking about this earlier, you get your first bad review. It's just one person's opinion, it's whatever. Just let it go.
yeah, everybody's not going to like your book, and that's okay. And if you don't like it, that's fine. Somebody else is going to love it.
And somebody may
Everything's
read
not for
that bad
everybody.
review and go, that is the type of book I'm looking for.
Exactly.
A review is
So,
a review. Take it. If they give constructive feedback, you can take a read at it, change if you want to or don't. It's your world, your story. So it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You just need those reviews to help you get your book in people's hands.
yeah, I know I've gotten reviews before where maybe it wasn't like really bad, but maybe it wasn't like a 5 star or whatever, but they would give feedback about, that I didn't like this part or I didn't like this. And sometimes it might be legitimate, and I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. So then you can take that feedback and kind of implement that and then make the next book that you write even better. So you just got to be careful with the feedback because sometimes people leave feedback just to be leaving feedback and it's not really helpful feedback. So you got to kind of vet that out and see what's legit and what's not. If it kind of makes sense to you about, oh, yeah, well, I can see that. So then that's something that you can kind of build on. Because the reviews and the feedback for most of us, all it does is just help us get better and write better books the next time.
And if you get a bad review that just hurts your heart and you need to vent about it, there is a whole community out there on social media. We've all been there. We're all willing to listen and hype you back up. So
Yep.
don't just sit there and waller in it. Don't give up. You got this and you're going to push through. We'll help you.
Yeah, that's what we're all here for. We're all here to lift everybody up, help everybody make them better.
That's why we're doing this. We want to help. And this was our first question we had to bring up in here. And I was personally excited about it. Because guys, it's not easy. You'll have some months where you can't keep your books on the shelves, and you'll have other months where you're like, is anybody still reading?
Is anybody out there?
Oh. And guys, you can always feel free. I've seen Gideon do it. If one of us is live and you just need to come up and tell someone about your book, we'll gladly listen. Because then we
Yeah,
have that in our arsenal to either read ourselves or to refer someone else to.
buy the books, buy books, buy books.
You will hear us in each other's lives saying, buy the books, read the books, review the books.
Read books, read books.
You have to buy Gideon's books, especially because sometimes when his deliveries arrive, he'll order like 100 books and they'll come in individual packages. And it makes his wife super, super happy.
No, it does not. The last shipment was perfect. They all came in boxes. We had one single package. That was it. I was like, holy crap, I love it.
He
But
does.
that's not always the case.
And there's gonna be hiccups along the way, either with packaging when your books show up or a typo in a video you put up, that no one cares. It happens to us all. We're gonna, yeah, that sucks. It's happened to me, and help you move forward. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, mistakes are human. Everybody makes them. So just learn from them and laugh about it.
Yes, laughing about it is important
Mhm.
because believe me, there's been times that I either have to laugh or I'm going to end up curled in a ball crying. But you've got this. Your books can get out there. You just can't give up. Please don't give up.
Please don't give up. Stay at it. If you feel like giving up, holler at one of us. We'll try to help lift you up.
Oh yeah. And I can attest for that because after my last event, I was
Ooh,
feeling down and I messaged somebody and he helped lift me back up. So we've got you.
it's not you.
It's all going to be better in April because I'm going back to where we all started.
Yep,
And I have found through the events I've done, guys, if you're looking for some, yeah, those big ones, they can be amazing. They're either feast or famine, but small bookstores are the places that you really want to try to get into. I know you've done a couple different smaller ones.
yep,
So look for those smaller bookstores to help you out. They're amazing, they're more personal, their shopper base is more loyal, so check them out. And when I say small bookstores, I don't mean Barnes and Noble, guys. I'm talking about the little one that every time you go in there, it's the same lady behind the counter. But yeah, I think that's mainly it. Don't give up. Do you have anything else to add,
nope,
Gideon?
nope. That's it. Just stay after it and don't give up.
And as always, guys, if you're interested in either one of our books, feel free to check them out. We are on TikTok, so you can find either one of us there. And if you have any questions, please make sure to drop them in the comments. It could be our next topic, or you can DM us, email us, find us on TikTok and tell us we listened.
Yep.
All right, I think that is going to be the end of episode 3. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.